Well, hello all you fans of Rando out there, and welcome to this SpeedGaming presentation of the Link to the Past Randomizer League playoffs. We've got an open league match for you today, featuring Relegation Chest Boots, Tiverius, and Nochibato, versus Third Try Blind, Jettoman, and TJ Joel. I'm MindDM. I'm going to be joined on the call today by my good buddy, James FNX. James, how are you doing?
I'm doing pretty good, and this is an interesting choice for both these teams. This is the round of 8, essentially round of 12 of Open League playoffs. Winner of this matchup, best of 3, will move on. Loser will be eliminated. And we're playing duality today. You can see in the middle of there. Both these teams one of the teams choosing to do duality in game 1. Neither of these teams won in the regular season.
Well, you figure we didn't win, they didn't win either, so let's toss it in the blender and see what comes out, I guess.
Yeah, could also be trying to avoid a certain mode, things like that. But this is game 1. This is duality. This is in a key sanity mode variant, if you haven't seen duality yet in the league, where there are 2 goals. One of those goals is to get 5 crystals, 5 of the 7 crystals, and go down the pyramid and beat Ganon, that pyramid hole open from the start. And then the other goal is to collect the 3 pendants and go grab the Triforce at the pedestal. And the teams are going to have to split those goals up between both players as we get started here.
Yeah, it's not the sort of thing that is decided right at the beginning. You can choose to swap around in the midst of the race, just depending on who's found what. That maybe somebody's already got 3 crystals, and you say, well, you still have to find this medallion for the pendant player, but you can go kill Ganon this time. It's a choice that the team gets to make during the seed, which makes for some interesting gameplay. It certainly made for some interesting gameplay during Duality Week. And hopefully it seems like we're going to see a little bit of this. There have been a few dualities put on the schedule for the playoffs. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's one of the more interesting modes we have in terms of how things can change really quickly. If a player's got 1 crystal, but they hop into a pendant dungeon and it's empty, and they collect that pendant, they could quickly become the pendant player of the 2. But it does really depend on where items are located at and what order these players decide to do things. We found an Eastern Big Key and a Desert Big Key already so far.
Likely more than not to need those. At this point you kind of want to greed a bow maybe before you send somebody over Eastern Palace. But yeah, the choices to be made bright and early in a key sanity mode.
Definitely. Little heads up play by Tiverius, trying to check tier 2 or tier 3 tree pull and see if he got hit or not. Only green rupees though.
Whichever it was, that's what Jetto got as well, so we're still even on knowledge between the teams, essentially. One of the vagaries of this mode that you did not mention in the little intro about the mode is that GT opens at 1 crystal, so even for the pendant player it can be worthwhile. That first crystal you get may still have some value to you.
Yeah, absolutely, and we're not going to see a GT Big Key either, so you're not looking to wait to try and find something upstairs or things like that. GT is a very big source of items in this mode, having 23 checks downstairs, 22 checks downstairs, I believe, and being accessible so early, you just need mitts to get in there, essentially.
Mitts in some way to access a portal on the eastern side of the mountain. So
yeah,
hookshot or hammer mirror.
Yep.
And you kind of hope for the hammer mirror, or the hammer mirror's pretty good because that'll get you into the left side. Maybe you do some bomb jumps if you don't have that hook shot.
Right. Also, we just want a mirror. It's really good.
Mirror is really good.
So far, Kakariko not really having much anything. We got a few more checks here.
Sometimes the seed is just going to force you to do things that you don't really want to do, like dip Eastern Palace early when you don't have a bow yet, even though you already found the big key.
Yeah, we do find a sword. We do find ether. Won't know if ether is required or not, but it is a nice quick way to clear out some rooms if you have the magic to spare. Let's see where people go from here. Gentleman either remembering or getting a nudge to go pick up that desert big key.
Forgetting to remember to pick up that chest in Sanctuary at first, and then having to backtrack for it a little bit. I don't know, when you've walked that far away, James, maybe you think, well, I'm coming back here at some point, probably. Why don't you just grab it then? But maybe not. Maybe you're never safe quitting the Sanctuary ever again.
I guess it's like, yeah, you're popping in the back here. You can just save and quit the Sanctuary. There's a consideration having glove already or get the items out of the back, and also potentially doing like a Houlihan play right after this, but you may not get back to Sanctuary for a while, depending on what your team's plans are. Oh, Mitz down in Mini Moldrum Cave. That
now,
appears to be
fancy.
That is fancy. The only prize down there, but better to have than not.
That's a pretty important prize, even if there's nothing else in there. You just tell your buddy, okay, get this one check in Mini Moldrum Cave. And Jetto is going to head over to Saha and maybe dip into Eastern after this. It's starting to feel like we need the Moon Pearl to come out here somewhere. If it's not in Saha's closet, we're probably taking the bait.
Yeah, not a ton left. We've got Agina. We've got... There's our Moon Pearl in the back of Saha's closet, so there's Dark World access. Although Jetto is going to have to take another step and go get those mitts from Mini Moldrum Cave before that.
And also going to get the information that the green pendant is Misery Mire, so pendant player going to need Mire access.
Yeah, you don't really want to see that, or Turtle Rock. Those are two dungeons that have a lot of requirements to get in them and beat them. So we're going to be finding a lot of things for our pendant player today.
It's maybe not necessarily the worst in this mode for it to wind up being required, because what if it's one of the crystals instead, and you have the ability to go in, and all of a sudden you clear it out and it's got absolutely nothing. Mire takes a decent chunk of time to actually get all the way through.
Yes.
But if you know you have to clear it eventually anyway because you have to pull Ped and it's got one of your pendants, then maybe you feel a little less bad about it.
TJ walking out of Ice Rod Cave doesn't look good. Maybe in our first bottle there, but it's going to walk out. So he's going to set up a fake flipper. Doesn't have Zora money quite yet. And decides, I'm not going to do this anymore.
That was a bit of a long walk to decide to turn your nose up at it in the end. I feel like if I've made it that far, I'm just going to go ahead and commit to a little fake flipperage. Maybe go to Waterfall Cave and then swim back out, head under the bridge, and save quit off of that. Maybe?
It could end up being the right thing to do here, as Tiverius finds flippers in that first chest of escape. Those are in logic.
That's really interesting, and it feels like what happened is Third Tribe Line said, hey, wait a minute, we know where all of the things are for Dark World access. Why are we doing nonsense when we can go do in logic things? And now Jetto's walking out too, so I'm more confused now, James. Why?
I'm very confused because
Why did TJ not do this?
Jetto is no closer to Zora money than TJ was.
Then TJ had already spent 2 screens walking back here to do this fake flipper. I don't get it. I don't understand.
Relegation chest boots have found their moon pearl. Desert is a crystal, it looks like. Thieves Town small, locked in behind the Hyrule Castle small.
Behind a Hyrule Castle small. Well, depending on where that Hyrule Castle small is, maybe you just never care. Maybe.
Correct.
Nothing there under the bridge for Jetto, just some bombs. TJ's gonna give us this bottle check, though. Which Nochi just did, but I missed it. Uh-oh. Stream gone.
Yeah, Doc said he was resetting the stream.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, in the SpeedGaming chat.
Ah, that would do it.
Are we back?
I think we may be back. Everybody's, well, some people are moving anyway.
Yeah. Getting some Zora. Ty, you have 300 rupees. What are we doing here?
Taking Zora Ledge, apparently.
Yeah, that's not the way to do it, I don't think.
I don't know, depending on what's here, maybe you just accept the problem. Oh, it was cash.
This is adorable. Now
Okay.
you got Zora money. Now you gotta make another loop.
I think the problem with that was Ty was close enough that a Houlihan would have put him in perfectly good stead to check the fish, and then if you need the refund afterwards, you can just swim down and then save and quit.
Yeah. So that looks a little awkward at the end of things.
Ooh, Nochi has found some boots, and TJ is going to find her with that. No, that's boots. That's got to be boots because now they're running.
Do like running here. So Jetto is in a great position. He's going to just hop into the Dark World and go get those boots immediately. Ty is going to find out Zora is a giant scammer. And it's going to have to walk back over to Kakariko and get those boots. It's like Hera is a crystal as well.
Ty still has a little bit of a walk to go here is what it looks like.
Yeah, choosing to do a couple of the last light world checks before getting these boots. I don't know if I agree with this, unless there's something...
I don't know that he's been to Mini Moldorm Cave yet, and so...
Oh, yeah, he's got to get those mitts. Yeah, that's right.
Because otherwise he doesn't have Dark World access.
Yep, you're absolutely correct. We do find Samaria in Pinball Room. TJ about to get it on his side. Nochibata just grabbed the King of Samaria.
TJ and Nochi have been right on top of each other for the past couple of minutes, and it's really convenient because if you miss it on one screen, you just check it on the other.
And Jetto gets those boots, gonna wait for a little helping hand. A little bit of diversions here as Noshibato heading into Village of Outcast, gets another bottle. TJ is at least going to check Bumper Ledge, find a unique item. It's not a good item, but it's a unique item.
I keep telling my friends this, and they keep not believing me, but ether is faster if you use it at the top of the screen because you don't have to wait for the lightning bolt to get to you.
Oh, it makes sense.
Or at least it doesn't have to travel as far to get to you.
But does it...
Only because Ty did exactly that.
Does it make up the time you take walking up there? I guess you're walking to the top of the screen there anyways. In some places it might cost you time to move up, but...
yeah, but in Mini Moldorm Cave especially, you're going to the top of the screen because that's where the door to all the checks are.
Yep. Cape for Nochibato here in Thief Town.
Probably going to see a fairly quick backtrack to check Bumper Ledge now and get the unfortunate news that maybe you could have just skipped that forever and ever.
Also get a Castle Tower Small. You never want to see those in this mode. There's that. We found them both already. I don't know if either of our teams checked Lumberjack coming out of this, but...
And you see both of those keys come out relatively early like this, and you start thinking, well, are we talking about a kern jump to sequence break around an aga play to a hammer kind of situation? It's possible.
Well, we've got flippers. It's not even a kern jump, so...
Yeah.
The only thing that could logically require Aghanim here is something at Lumberjack or a hammer in Pyramid Fairy.
Looks like Third Try Blind is trying to split up here, but splitting up with no mirror and with Mid's Dark World access can be challenging at best. And so we're kind of seeing them just run over and back on each other.
Yeah, because you either have to have someone commit to going to the pod area from the north, and if there's anything in Hype Cave, it takes you so long to get back there.
And to them, it's a little more illogical than it is for RCB, who's gone to the front of the cabinet. Well, here's the mirror in Hype Cave, that's pretty nice. But RCB, with those flippers, are in a situation where that's an easier kind of play to make.
Yeah. Yeah, neither TJ nor Jetto have checked the front of Escape yet and gotten those flippers. So they will have to do a kern jump if they choose to. But first we've got King's Tomb. And we've got a pod big from the Smiths, so gonna have to turn those in probably.
It's a reasonable sort of thing. That Nochi's had that Smith trailing around after him for a while now. Now that he has the mirror, he thinks, well, why couldn't I have had that earlier?
Yeah, exactly. Thieves and Ice are 5/6s. Nochibato making that check. I don't think TJ made that check coming out of Hype Cave, so they do not have that 5/6 information.
It looks like Jetto is up on the mountain doing a little sequence break here. We're just breaking the lamp, it's fine. And, well, actually, we're not even really... Well, this item is breaking the lamp. All those $20 right there, 20 bucks? No, that's illogical. No. You can't spend it.
Yeah. Verboten. Enjoy that single arrow. This is going to be a full Smith chain for Nochibato. Is going to get that pod big key and pick up purple chest as well. TJ
choosing not to invisible purple chest here is a little interesting.
He doesn't have the mirror yet.
Oh, you're right, but doesn't Jeddo knows where that is because he's in Hera, so TJ...
Yeah, TJ is going to grab the mirror and then invisible purple chest on the way out.
Well, he could have dropped it off wherever he wanted.
I guess it does stay in keep
Yeah.
its position
It does.
if you go in the underworld. So yeah. Oh, TJ needs some emotional support here. It's fine.
All that said, he's still going to turn it in before Nochi does. Not by a lot.
Yeah. Interesting choice here by Jeddo Man heading to Eastern Palace and not... I guess they don't know the flippers yet, so they don't know that Pod is actually in Logic. But I still think I would try Kern Jump and get over to Pod before coming over here and just combining the two.
Or if you're not a fan of the Kern Jump, you're still entering the Dark World at 3 there. Just farm a water walk out of Skull Woods and go hop down.
Yep.
Not really anything fancy in Nagina's closet. Nochi's about to get it. TJ just got it. And it looks like that mountain trip was pretty brief for Jeddo, all things considered. I don't think anything particularly interesting came out of it, with no hook shot yet. Not really in a great position to do a whole lot with Hera or get to the other side of the mountain.
No, there was a small key on Spectacle Rock. Picked that up. Looks like it was probably a GT small looking at the trackers. But not particularly interesting at this point in time.
That book that Jeddo just found in Eastern may be more interesting.
Sure is. That will get us access into Desert Palace. We've got a Desert Big Key. We don't have a small yet, but we will be able to get 3 checks in Desert between Map Chest, Torch, and the Big Chest. And if you so choose, you can steal a small key and get the other 2 as well, but that's a little bit riskier.
Map to Thieves Town behind that Eastern Palace Big Key. It could be useful knowledge, but only for Third Try Blind, who I don't believe checked the bomb vendor. Yeah,
Nochibato's setting up that Skullwoods water walk that you were talking about. So this would be a play to whatever's on Hylia Island.
Or it could just be that he's more comfortable with this and hasn't been to the front of the castle to pick the flippers up yet.
Yes. No, just going to take this over to Catfish and... presumably into Pod and Pyramid after that. Fire Rod locked behind the lamp.
Ooh, alright.
And a shovel in the library.
Fire locking fire, a bit of a rando classic. The flute on Catfish.
Oh, this seed is gross. TJ, you've got magic. Just ether. Or Burna. Or anything. Alright, Pod's good too.
Turtle Rock big there in K45. I think we've seen that already, but Ty just picked it up. And Jeddo's going to use that book and head into Desert. We'll see if there's anything interesting here. Oh, and that's one of those things that the cape does. TJ's going to use it and go in and make a check in Castle Tower.
Yep. Nice little heads up play before heading into pod. Nochibato choosing to get this heart on Pyramid Ledge. I would check front of Hyrule Castle right now, but Nochibato's gonna say no thanks and head over to pod.
That's a choice. Speaking of choices, Jetto's choice to go into Desert Palace and open up the map chest was pretty good, because that's where the hammer was.
That's a good item. So Book and Eastern leading to Hammer in Desert.
And it's not necessarily the only way to get there, because with that, with the flute off of Catfish, you can just use your mitts and your mirror and go in the back door, theoretically.
Yep. Yeah.
Not going to Eastern anytime soon.
Alright, we got a fire source, so Jetto's not at all interested in stealing that small key. He's going to beat this dungeon instead. Tiberius is going to go grab a flute here soon. Got Nochibato in pod. TJ heading into Eastern to get that book. TJ not having been to Catfish yet, doesn't have that flute. May end up not even thinking about the flute depending on how pendants line up, because you only need it to get into Misery Mire. And we do know Misery Mire is our green pendant.
So it is one of those items that you're going to have to find, but you may not have to get it on both players depending on what else is in that dungeon.
Yeah, that's one of the really interesting things of this mode.
Of course, it is key sanity. The chances that something you need being in there, they're decent. Not hugely high necessarily. Kind of depends on how everything else shakes out. If you can pull a crystal from somewhere and go fish 20 items out of GT Basement, you probably find a lot of what you're looking for.
Yeah, Nochibato got a bow here in pod. Shock of Shocks. Meanwhile,
Surprise,
Jetto
surprise,
Man...
the bow of this dungeon.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Jetto Man excels at Whack-A-Mole. Gets through Land Mollis, picks up a crystal.
In pretty good shape all of a sudden to go up the mountain and fish around in GT if that's what he wants to do.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a hammer, we got boots, so you only have to do like a couple bomb jumps up there. Plus Samari and a fire rod, all the right sides available as well.
And Jetto is one of those inveterate hoverers, so even if he runs out of bombs, he'll just go ticky 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 for a little bit and go find the things anyway.
Alright, Ty's gonna head to Checkerboard Cave Desert, take a look at what the medallion is for Mire. This is our first look in this area. That is a Quake medallion required for Misery Mire.
Did Jetto check Ether Tablet and I totally blanked on it, or did he just kind of run right by?
I think he just ran right by it. He's gonna hope for a sword out of GT and then check it on the way out.
That's reason. I would just worry that I was going to forget about it if I didn't do it.
Very fair. I think this is correct if you know you're going to look at it when you get done in GT. But if you're worried about not remembering that, then you do it on the first way around. But Jetto's going to try and get all these checks. There's Paradox Cave and Super Bunny and one check in Hookshot Cave. And if, like you said, Jet, it's a dirty, filthy hoverer, can pick up a few more checks there. Yeah, Nochibato is coming into Eastern Palace, about to get this fire rod, but has one thing that no one else has that bow, so we'll be able to complete this dungeon.
That is proving to be interesting, and Third Try Blind having gone into Eastern a little earlier, not having found the flute, but having found the book and gotten onto the desert portion of the chain that way, is going to be into GT first, but it feels like Catfish is getting really isolated for them.
It is. It is definitely a location that you have to think about checking, especially in co-op races. It's one of those ones that, like, I'm never going to check this if I'm 1v1, but if I'm in co-op, you have to decide, am I going to take out some of these very awful to get to locations like Catfish and Spiral Cave and Graveyard Ledge, things like that.
Looks like TJ is also going to take advantage of the fact that this is now a known crystal dungeon for Third Try Blind, and again, both players probably going to want one to get into GT, where Jetto is going to be here in just a couple of minutes and start saying, well, you're probably going to need to come here. You're just operating under the assumption that you're going to have to go there, so one crystal is not really going to hurt your feelings. Tiberius, meanwhile, has gotten the hammer out of desert. Or we're not clearing desert. We're instead going to Palace of Darkness, where, of course, Nochibato has found that bow. This does make sense.
Yeah, Tiberius not having a fire source can't really clear out desert yet, but does have that pod big key and one small key, and now has a bow and a hammer. Could decide to just say see ya to the back. Nochibato's already been in the back of this dungeon. I don't know if there's any reason for Tiberius to go back in there. Looking at inventory wise, I don't really see anything that was picked up that is a must-have. So you might see Tiberius just beat this dungeon right now.
That's entirely possible, and with the fire rod in Eastern, we probably just see him mirror over and hit that next. Then he's got his fire source, and RCB can worry about who or what does Desert Palace later.
Exactly. Good hover so far out of Jetto, man. Does drop there, unfortunately. Does get 3 of the 4 chests. We'll see if he's interested in trying one more time. Looks like that is the case. Misery Mire big key out of pod. Does only have the one small key. Can't beat the dungeon right now. So we'll head into Eastern, get that fire rod. Eastern was a crystal as well.
And it was the Swamp Palace big, that last hovered chest by Jetto there. So, an item to be named later.
Well, we know one place the hookshot will not be, and that's vanilla. Desert small, locked in behind that flute. Or potentially a lamp, but much more likely that it is flute locked at this point.
Oh, this is interesting because it looks like TJ is heading for these flipper checks in Zora from the Light World. Once again, Third Try Blind kind of getting into that situation with Catfish.
Yep. Looks like we have Jetto is remembering Aether Tablet. It looks like Jetto did pick up a Master Sword on the mountain, so would you like a bug net?
Yeah, if I'm making the check anyway, I'll sure take it.
Absolutely. Alright, into GT we go for Jetto, man. We got a bunch of checks downstairs. Some of them are even in logic. 3 small keys already, too.
So, most of them are in logic, is what you're saying. In fact, given that the GT Big is removed from the pool, I don't know that the game knows to logically change that, but we're definitely making all the checks now.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice hover from Jetto. bomb jumps. Who needs those? Nice high roll small. Adorable.
Oh, good, a mushroom. And some other big key that the hookshot is not going to be behind.
Over to the map chest. This one, depending on whether the game is smart enough to know that you can't get upstairs, could actually be in logic, but it's just some bombs. You don't need the hook shot for that one logic, but you do need, in a normal key stand, you do need all 4 small keys for that one to be in logic.
Meanwhile, TJ is showing us something entirely new here. Third try blind, TJ Joel, the first of our runners into Ice Palace.
Yeah, smart play here. It's I don't know if TJ knows it yet, but we know it's a crystal. 8 items in this dungeon, blocking 2 more at the pyramid.
Having a bit of a pin gator party here, but kind of get the job done with some bombs.
Tiberius having a bit of a time with Armos Knights. Gonna have to do a little bit of cleanup here at the end. It's done.
Rando room with a hair big, so we've now got 3 big keys that are not going to be locking our hook shot. That could be convenient for Jetto, though, who, upon finishing GT Basement, could absolutely just mirror back to the front and walk down some steps and go clear out Tower of Hera.
Yeah, that would be crystal number 2 for him. And what are we looking at for pendants here? We know Misery Mire for 1. We know all the Light World dungeons are crystals. We know Ice Palace and Thieves Town are 2 other crystals, so some combination of Swamp Palace, Skull Woods, Palace of Darkness, and Turtle Rock for other 2 pendants.
Speaking of Palace of Darkness, third try blind has not been there yet, does not have the 1 known bow, so Jetto is using sword beams on these Armos Knights on ice.
Jetto also doesn't have Burna that TJ has, so
It's fine. Sword beams do a pretty good job here.
sword beams are this in blind if it gets a little wild on you are the 2 places where beams are actually pretty good for a boss fight.
Magic powder, a thing that Jetto finds behind Ice Armos. Still a few more checks here in the basement. Has not touched right side at all yet.
No, she taking a look at Ether Tablet, gets the news that it's the bug net. We'll probably not pick that up.
And so far, it's difficult for Jetto to tell TJ that this has any value. It's been kind of fetch quest big keys and actual fetch quest all the way down in GT.
Yeah, we got a
probably leads to something, but we don't know that yet.
A mushroom, a powder, some terrible big keys. And Tiberius is going to make a play over to GT. There's a Quake. That's required.
Alright, finally something that we know about, that we know about anyway.
But TJ may not ever have to get that. They still need to find the flute and figure out who's going to go beat Misery Mire. But Misery Mire 100% in play now, other than Dark Rooms, depending on your interest in doing those.
And this lamp has to be available somewhere. That fire rod's behind it.
Yeah. We know it won't be here because all these checks are locked in behind the fire rod. Just a pod small. And Jetto will double back and beat Hare with that big key.
He's gonna magic back up with that potion and go right back to the fire rod.
Yeah. Fighter sword. I mean, you got a hammer, but don't really want to mess around with the cold stare puffs. One downside is they don't have quick access to potion shop to refill that potion if you so chooses. At least until you find that flute, which is, like you said, getting further and further away from Third Try Blind.
Now, one thing that did happen there was TJ has found the ice rod.
That's a good find.
It may or may not need it. Turtle Rock still has a chance to be a crystal dungeon. And we seem to be getting other crystal dungeons into play much more quickly than that.
Tyveri's gonna pick up Quake here in 45 seconds or so.
That'll be interesting because when he leaves here, I expect that we'll also see him do what Jetto's doing right now and killing off the Moldworm. But then I expect we'll see Tyverius heading for fire.
Yes.
Seems pretty likely. You've got a big key, you've got a Cane of Samaria, you're in pretty decent shape with a bow and whatnot.
Yeah, a little spicy health-wise, but
it's co-op,
almost.
It's always going to be a little spicy health-wise.
Tell that to Jetto Man and his 11 hearts. Where is Jetto gonna go here? Is this an Aghanim's Tower play?
Probably picking up flippers into making the Aga Tower checks.
Ah, correct. He does not have those flippers yet.
First check of Swamp, just 20 bucks. TJ has to say goodbye because still no small key. So it seems like Third Try Blind realizes that they're getting down to a bit of the nitty-gritty on trying to find whatever their progression is. So maybe TJ is going to make it to Catfish here before going up the mountain?
First, we're going to get a Bombos tablet check. This is new. Just a green potion. We got plenty of bottles, so we're never going to see that again.
No. If TJ had had a second sword, you certainly wouldn't complain to see that falling from the sky, but not something our runners are going back for.
No, not at all. Jetto's going to try and make fetch happen.
Nochi having a little momentary indecision there. Where do I want to start? And the answer when you have a flute in the mountain start point is the mountain.
Yes. It's like Nochibato filling up on potions. This may be an Ice Palace dip.
Entirely reasonable if it is. I'm a little surprised that Tyverius rushed GT quite this hard. The rest of the mountain is a place where the hookshot could have been, and he's very specifically kind of eschewed left side of GT.
Yeah, it's an interesting choice.
And it's fine to split it up that way, but I kind of would have then expected Nochi to have also gone up the mountain and start doing those checks while Ty was cleaning out GT Basement.
Taking a map check on TJ's side. Palace of Darkness is one of our other pendants. Tiberius having cleaned out the right side. It's going to head over to the left now.
Was hoping for a hook shot, I'm assuming, before having to go over here and do a bunch of bomb jumps, but
Yep.
here we are.
We'll get our first look at hammer pegs.
I think one of Nochi or Tai did this. I don't recall it being anything.
Alright.
We'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Jetto finds something really interesting here, but I don't think so. Nope.
Nope.
Have to love that Hyrule Castle small locked behind the hook shot.
Tiberius learning the boomerang does not stun Stalfos. And with only one small key, Tiberius is going to put off that map chest. We do know that there's just nothing there, so it's going to work out, but I'm sure that'll stay on Tiberius's mind for a while.
It's one of those things that you kind of feed to your teammate and you say, well, I couldn't do it. And now Jetto almost headed north, but is heading for Pod.
Yep, so this will be a boat pickup. And I think at this point, Jetto being here, can't tell from his tracker how many small keys he has. But at least a couple. There was at least one in GT. So
there were one or two in GT.
We'll see if he makes a decision to kill this boss off. Third Tribe Line does know that this is a pendant. TJ did do a map check a little bit earlier. TJ's gonna hop in a Turtle Rock. Does not have that big key though. Oh, it's Bombo, so we're not gonna hop in a Turtle Rock. It is no fun for anyone.
Tiberius is back in Ganon's Tower.
Why is Tiberius back in Ganon's Tower?
He has his mirror out. I think he's magicking up here.
Oh, yeah, so he can go into Spike Cave. This is the heads-up play, actually.
I kind of disagree, and only so far as he could have just done Hera really quick because the big key to Hera was in.
Oh yeah, he could have just beat Hera, but maybe he is deciding, hey, I'm going to be the pendant player. I have the flute. I have the medallion from Misery Mire. I have Samari. I can do that dungeon. That's that's an adorable location for a sword.
Jetto is giving a couple of attempts to this hover. Didn't quite have the pixel. Went back to set it properly and then fell off. First try, easy game.
Swamp Small, it's a good place for that.
That's a place for that.
So now you gotta be thinking hook shot in front of Swamp. Is there ain't many other places where it could be?
It's kind of an ugly thing to be thinking, but yeah, it's possible. I don't think we've actually seen the back of Skull Woods here. Tiberius is heading there now.
We have not, and if Tiberius is saying I'm the dependent player, this makes a lot of sense. This is one of 4 dungeons that they don't have knowledge on. I don't know if either of them have seen the map for Pod and taken a look. That looks like Tiberius has, and does see that it is. Also sees that Skull Woods is dependent, so Tiberius is just saying I'm the dependent player.
Tiberius going to do pendant things, and Nochi going to have to go fishing around a little bit.
The one thing I wish Tiberius did on the way in here was check that Skull Woods big key. Because that was in GT, and if you're saying I'm the pendant player, that means you just don't want Chibato to ever have to go into GT. So you definitely want to make sure that Skull Woods big is nothing important before you get out of here.
Well, we know that it can't be the hookshot because of its location.
Correct.
So, what else is Nochi looking for, I guess is the question.
I guess we're looking for potentially a Bombos. I don't think Turret Rock can actually be required one of the 5 at this point. Nochibato can beat Hera once he gets the big key out of GT, but you try to avoid that. Just needs Hookshot to beat Swamp. We're looking for a Thieves Town big. That's pretty important. I'm sorry, it wasn't Shooter Room, it was Stalfos Room for that bow. Still a great location. Tiberius is not going to check that Skull Woods big chest and hope it's nothing.
That's choice. But he is going to check the mushroom. Stop me if I'm going entirely crazy, but I'm pretty sure they were in the same room.
I don't remember. I guess, yeah, Mushroom and Harabig were in the same room, I think. I don't remember exactly.
Now we've got Jetto heading for Eastern, having that bow out of Bob. What are we doing, Mr. Various?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what's going on. Lamp, right side desert? That's a good one. Oh, okay, we're getting the lamp first. So Tiberius is going to steal the key out of here. Go get the lamp at right side desert.
Yeah,
Tiberius doesn't need to go beat desert.
He's going to lift right pot, though, for reasons.
Listen, when you play enough True Pot Hunt, you just pick up whatever you want here. It's fine.
You just lift everything. It's fine. And it looks like Third Try Blind may have also made a similar calculation, and that TJ is becoming the pendant player here, Jetto clearing out another crystal dungeon.
Yeah, that makes TJ's Dip and Ice a little unfortunate. I don't remember there being much of anything there other than the Ice Rod, which opens up another crystal. And both the runners have Quake, so I don't know. I'm not sure how I feel about that decision. What I can say is this flute is getting further and further away from Third Try Blind, and they're going to need to find that to complete the pendant goal.
And Nochi is into this with Swamp play, so RCB has gotten into this dungeon. Well, Third Try Blind was technically in this dungeon first, but without a small key, so we're going to get some new checks from Nochi's point of view here.
Yeah, we're gonna get some DLC too. We don't get to see these rooms very often.
Jetto's going to enter the dark world.
Oh no! That's a hook shot in Misery Mire.
Ooh, and that's Nochi with an immediate mirror out of Swamp Palaces. I'm gonna need that, which means I'm gonna need to go to GT and get a flute.
Yeah, gotta get that Quake Medallion out of GT. I think that is... That might actually be... Oh, we need one more Turtle Rock small or a Thieves Town big for Go mode for Relegation chest boots, I think.
And RCB probably figures that they find in Swamp or maybe within one of the other dungeons that they still need to touch on.
Yeah, TJ is having a time here with Mothula.
Imagine having a time with Mothula. That boss never cooperates. It's not even the boss, really. It's the room.
Tiverius is heading directly to the boss. Are they actually in Go mode? Oh, they are in Go mode, yeah. So they can just skip these in Turtle Rock.
Eastern Desert, Hera, Swamp, and Ice Palace. Yeah, that's 5.
Yeah. Yeah, especially with Nochibato having to go to GT now to go get that Quake. You just go get your Hera big key out of here as well.
He's going to do a little burn-a-dashing here on some eyeballs. And then some deboost strats with some slime. And a little archery.
Tiverius has his second pendant. One thing we didn't mention at all through this broadcast so far is placement in this mode. Placement value is a little bit different than other co-op modes in Link to the Past Randomizer. We're not judging on the average time because sometimes one person just gets 3 pendants very quickly and is able to exit the game immediately. Instead, in this mode, and only this mode for League, we judge the winner based on which team has both the runners finish first.
And having wildly divergent times is something that Third Try Blind is really familiar with. They had a seed where their first finisher was at 43 minutes in Duality Week. That was, in fact, the third member of their team, Sean Rhapsody.
Welcome in, Raiders. Just give you a quick reset here. We're watching the Open League playoffs, round 1. Relegation chest boots on the left-hand side. Third Try Blind on the right-hand side. Watching duality mode. So we've got a couple different goals between our teams. One team member's got to complete the pedestal goal, get all 3 pendants. The other team member's got to get 5 crystals and go beat Ganon. And this is game 1 of our best of 3 set here. Oh my goodness, TJ is 7 rupees short of entering pod.
And is absolutely mowing the lawn looking for more.
Chat asking if one team member can do both. No, one team member's got to get the pedestal goal, and the other team member's got to beat Ganon. So separate goals for each team member. You're not locked in as to who has to finish what at the start of the race, so you can kind of make decisions based on what you've done versus what your teammate has done. And TJ is still trying to do some errands. Still trying to get that summer vacation money.
As Tiberius is sitting there and wailing away on Helmasaur King's mask with that hammer, Jetto is going to look into right side desert, and Nochi is up on the mountain.
Yeah, Nochi's grabbed that Quake Medallion. It's gotten that hook shot. Did not beat Hera. It's just gonna come back and do it with the Hera pot. Didn't bother grabbing the Hera big key, that's why. Which makes sense. It's a little bit faster to Hera pot than go all the way to Rando Room, go get that Hera big key.
It makes sense. Okay, TJ at long last has the cash money to pay off the extortionate rate of this monkey.
Saving up all summer for the Switch 2 and finally able to get it. Meanwhile, Tiberius has got 3. Did you actually beat Pod, Ty?
Yes,
I guess he just didn't, hasn't marked it. He's got 3 pendants, is going to turn in his goal. Meanwhile, this is going to be crystal number 4 for Nochibato. Finish up in Swamp and then head to the Pyramid. So 1G in chat for Tiberius. Relegation chest boots have put 1 result on the board, and if Third Tribe is looking at the race room, the clock, they know the clock's ticking.
And sometimes you just have to wonder, well, was that their crystal player and we missed something on that side because we haven't gotten our pendant player in place yet. And Jetto is going to land on this blue tier momentarily, and Third Tribe Line is going to say, oh, that's what that looks like. I expect we'll see Nochi open a couple of on-the-way kind of checks in Swamp here, but you sure would like to have one more sword or maybe some silver arrows, since you're going to have to be the one fighting the pig. But
yeah, definitely. It does have 11 hearts, does have some bottles, has cash to fill up one of those bottles as well, so it's not going to be the worst fight in the world for Nochibata, but you're definitely gonna open up the 2 drown chests. Probably the waterfall chest as well. Probably not much else in there. And Jetto Man gets the flute, and those are the save and quits of someone who looks really excited about finding a flute.
sometimes you're in a hurry. Sometimes you're looking at the race room and know you have to be in a hurry.
Nochibato here to the drowned chests. Gonna dive her down, find a bombos, have a laugh.
Find a text box, have a bit less of a laugh. That's one of those things that was logically required, but you're certainly not going to go out of your way for it.
There you go, there's some silvers.
And that's why we open the things that are on the way. Jitto over here getting third try blind's first look into the mire area. Now knows that that Quake Medallion was in fact required, or at least for the Pendant player on the team it is.
Yeah, they have not been able to get into Misery Mire and get that hook shot yet. And TJ is going to have a fun time walking out of pod, because I don't think there's really any quicker way of getting to Catfish from here.
Not from his current location, there's not. Walking out of pod feels pretty bad, but sometimes you just don't get a choice.
Nice Thieves Town Big. We're finding everything in here in Swamp Palace. Now we don't need any of it. No Chibata with crystal number 5. That's everything he needs to go complete his goal. Flew over to 5. We're gonna head to the Dark World and head to the Pyramid. Looks like Jetto got that hook shot. Gonna head to Swamp. Ganon with a little lesson in manners, I guess. I don't know.
I don't know, he's the one who made the hole in his own door.
That's right. 12 spins, phase 1. 12 spins, phase 2. I think that's enough to get Nochibado into phase 2. Yep, here we go with some bats. Everyone loves bats. Just high enough to.
Position's just not great.
Yeah, this one's good though. This is the dream spot where you can just sit in the corner and fire off some spins, and all your spins are double spins because they'll hit twice, and all you gotta do is get this hook shot. And you're 2 hearts, so Nochibado gonna have to be a little bit careful. Does have a blue potion, is gonna crack it. 2 hearts is 1 hit. Phase 3, 4 spins. Gotta wait for Ganon to stop teleporting. Gotten 1 hit in. We'll have 3 hits in. Gets a stun. Gets hit number 4. So get your GGs ready in chat. As Relegation chest boots are going to cross the finish line. Both runners across. And they will pick up game 1 of this best of 3 series here in the Open League playoffs. GG's, and TJ is going to get a little vengeance on Mothla, maybe. No, we're sick of this. Don't blame him. Game 1 victory at Relegation Chest Boots. Let's see if we get folks in here to talk about it.
Looks like we've got some people filing into our waiting room here. If they're not careful, I'm going to start dragging them around.
They're a little shy, it's fine.
Sometimes after a seed like that, you do want a couple of seconds to cool off a little bit, maybe. Alright, here is Nochi and Tiverius. We do have Relegation Chest Boots with us now. We are not going to be joined by TJ or Jetto, apparently. If that changes, we will, of course, let you know. But hi, boys, GG. Good game on the good game, taking the game 1, huh?
Yeah, that was. I don't know. It was one of those where it's like, classic co-op, frantic at the start, and then you settle into it, and then all of a sudden we found Quake, and I'm like, well, I guess follow the lead of the seed, and then Hookshot. I'm like, I think that's our go mode. Like,
yeah, there's always this interesting bit of go mode math and duality where you're just trying to figure out, can I actually beat the game with what I got? Do I need to do anything else?
yeah.
Is there another sword out there somewhere, please?
Yep.
Please?
And so I'm
No.
like frantically reading the rules doc during credits. I'm like, I think I can go back in.
You're even allowed to fast forward via holding down X or hitting select. You can't emulate or fast forward for your dirty emulator players.
No,
Yeah, this was the matchup of teams that did poorly in Duality Week, rolling Duality right at the start of their playoff match. So I think this was their pick, though. I think this was TTB's pick.
Yep.
It sure was. I don't know if they just wanted to, get it out of the way. And for us personally, it was kind of like a vendetta because we played pretty well Duality Week. We just ran headfirst into Blackjack and Hookshots, who PB'd all speeds.
Imagine Blackjack and Hookshots. They didn't quite do the thing that Used Bow did up in Invitational, but man, Blackjack and Hookshots had themselves a very nice regular season.
Yeah, no, for sure. It's been fun, It's been really interesting, even just to watch the other racers, because there's been a lot of interesting, quote unquote upsets depending on how long people have been in the community or how strong people think people are. But I mean, it's still rando at the end of the day, so it's been really cool watching how everything shook out and see sort of who just was able to maintain their presence long enough.
Yeah, it seemed like I know there were less teams this year than in years past in the Open League, but it does seem like it's actually compressed the skill level in the Open League. It's a lot closer than I think it has been in years past.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like, it might be overusing the phrase, but it definitely felt like a lot fewer certainties looking at every different group. It's like, I remember being young and stupid and first joining the community. I'm like, all right, that team's probably going to go, and sure enough they did. That team's probably going to go, sure enough they did. And it's like, especially our conference, it was just like any one of these teams can make it, and any one of these teams might not.
For the past 2 seasons in Open League, particularly, the Dark World Conference has just been monstrous. And James can speak to this. He was one of the monsters.
Yeah.
It's. I think the skill level of the community has just gotten so high over the last 2 or 3 years. With all the people that came in during the pandemic years, you just got so many players that now have several years of experience playing this game, and you just can't judge a team based on if you know them or not anymore.
Mm-hmm. That's a good show.
Name recognition, all well and good, but go back 2 or 3 years and you say, well, you would think Pugs is just running the table in Invitational, right? And just kind of barely squeaking by. It's a whole new ball game out there, folks.
Yeah, it's been interesting, but no, I don't know. Like you were alluding to earlier, my game duality is one of those where it's like, oh, how'd you feel about the seed? Panicked but good. So I don't know if they were saying in the race room they pretty much last located that flute, which I can definitely see is the reason things shook out the way they did. That kind of stinks.
They had some opportunities to maybe get there. TJ got into the light world checks in that area relatively late, but was doing it from I think it was from the witch's hut, and so had just run up in the light world and couldn't check catfish at that point. And there was a time where Jetto was he had dashed past the turn to pod and then backtracked to pod, which made a lot of sense because why wouldn't you go to pod and get everything instead of go through 5 more screens to get to catfish for one thing?
Yeah.
Because there weren't any small keys anywhere.
This is true.
Yeah, I think I finished pod with the 2 smalls.
And I got 2, like, cleaning up looking for a sword. So I ended with 3, but... Ugh.
Yep, lots of keys in your next race. Looks like you guys have 80 key drop boots scheduled for Thursday. That was your team's choice, correct?
Correct. Yeah, it was. I enjoy it, and so that'll be me and Hexodus playing. I believe against Sean and TJ. If I remember what I put on the schedule correctly.
That looks to be right.
Yeah.
That is what's on there. Yeah.
No, that should be a lot of fun. That's one of those modes where, trying to keep all the keys and stuff straight, it almost helps to just overlap each other right away for the first 10 minutes. Just both go to CAC. You're gonna need stuff. Just look at it from different sides so you know what to skip and then diverge. But we'll see. We'll see how rude the seed wants to be.
Yeah, we'll definitely see. This is a mode that both teams went 2-0 in the regular season. So we'll see if you guys can finish this out or if we end up on a game 3. Do you know anything about game 3 yet? Have they decided what they're going to choose for mode?
No, that's not something that we've talked about yet. We just got game 2 figured out late yesterday, I think, early this morning even. One of the two. So yeah, I mean, I'm quite honestly, I'm down for. Well, I say I'm down for whatever they pick. I'd be sitting that one out. But
I bet you're down
for whatever you want.
I don't know. I think we're comfortable enough with all the co-op modes, and we have our systems down. So no, I'm just excited to play Rando with my buddies a little longer.
All right, anything else about this one before we look ahead at the schedule just a little bit?
I don't have anything.
No, I'm good. Thanks for the restream. Thanks for the calls.
Yes, thank you.
All right, in that case, we have one more game coming up this evening, an Invitational League match. It's going to be Crystal Roller Crew, last season's Open League champions, now in Invitational, versus Aga's Backup Dancers. That's going to be a cross-keys match. It's going to be Armalix and Zafikel for CRC, and Breadcoon and Hitman for ABD. That is coming up at 8 p.m. Eastern Time tonight. So, what, an hour and a half?
Yeah, hour and a half from now.
On SpeedGaming 3.
Two teams I'm familiar with. Two teams that have beaten me in playoffs.
Again, talking about teams in last year's Open League Dark World Conference that were absolute monsters. Well, the champions, and then Aga's Backup Dancers, who've been scary for years now.
Yeah, it should be a real good race. Can't wait to watch that one.
Then we've got a bunch of invitational games coming up on Saturday. It will open with I Was Supposed to Carry Us versus the Hyrule Chicken Horde. They're going to be playing 80 key drop boots, that mode that is going to be the mode for Game 2 in this Relegation Chest Boots and Third Try Blind series. That's going to be on SpeedGaming Prime tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And then there are a bunch of games to follow. There's one at noon, there are a couple at 2, then there's a nightcap at 9:30. Plus or minus, I don't think anybody else in Open League is actually on the schedule. It's just this game that we're finishing up with right now, and then the next RCB TTB game on next Thursday. That's it. No, nobody else.
Yeah, there's only 4 series in Open League, and one of them's already completed. So there'll be some more races. They got a couple weeks to finish this up, so we'll see how things shake out. But that's going to do it for us today. Check out on this channel in 90 minutes. You get that Crystal Crew Aga's Backup Dancers race and lots of games tomorrow. So thank Dr. Earworm for getting things set up. Good. Thank you guys from chat. Me and DM, thank you. It's been a pleasure being the Waldorf to your Statler.
Always fun.
And thanks again, and we'll see you later. Have a good afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and good night.